If you still do these three unsexy habits every week, you're leaking about $2,400 a year, and your brain writes it off as, it's only $12. Here's habit number one. It takes 60 seconds and it stopped my $340 a month leak. It's not willpower, it's affordable indulgence. $9 feels free, plus emotional memory. Your brain links the swipe to relief, not cost, so you rebuy without thinking. I break three habits that flip it. Number one stops the rebuy. Number two kills lifestyle creep, and number three is the old money trick nobody sees. Stay for number three because it's the one that keeps the other two from bouncing back. And the best part? All three take less than 5 minutes a week. Habit number one, the 60-second rebuy blocker. The first habit is painfully simple, the 24-hour cart rule. Every non-grocery purchase sits in your cart for 24 hours before you buy it. No deleting it, no convincing yourself you can't live without it. Just wait. I used to buy 3 little drops a month. One was $47, one was $39, another was $62, and every single time it felt cheap. It's only 40 bucks. Then I actually checked what that habit looked like over a year. $1,776, gone on things that never felt expensive enough to think twice about. And that's the trap. Your brain doesn't evaluate every purchase based on what it cost you over a year. It evaluates the swipe happening right now. $40 feels manageable, $12 feels almost free, $9 doesn't even register as a financial decision. That's affordable indulgence. Small purchases give you the reward immediately while hiding the total cost behind repetition. And once your brain connects buying something with a little hit of excitement or relief, it learns the pattern. See it, want it, buy it, feel good, repeat. The 24-hour rule interrupts that loop, not because you're suddenly becoming more disciplined, because you're separating the feeling of wanting something from the moment you actually have to pay for it. Yesterday, that item felt urgent. Today, you might barely remember why you wanted it. And if you still want it after 24 hours, fine, buy it. The goal isn't to never spend money. It's to stop accidentally buying the same dopamine hit over and over again. For me, cutting impulse purchases from around 8 a month to 2 worked out to roughly $340 saved per month. That's $4,080 a year. And the habit itself takes about 60 seconds. Screenshot the cart, set a 24-hour timer, then leave. Because the easiest money to save isn't always the money you negotiate for. Sometimes it's the money you were about to spend before you gave yourself enough time to change your mind. And that brings us to habit number two, because even if you stop the impulse buys, there's another leak that gets more expensive the more money you make. Habit number two, the lifestyle creep kill. Pay yourself first on payday. The rule is simple. Move the money before you see it, before the takeout, before the I deserve this, before your lifestyle gets the raise before your savings does. I learned that one the hard way. I got an extra $400 coming in every month. And somehow, instead of feeling richer, I just started spending differently. More takeout, a few more convenience purchases, a couple subscriptions I probably wouldn't have bought before, and by the end of the month, that extra $400 had basically disappeared. That's lifestyle creep. And it's dangerous because it doesn't feel like overspending. You don't wake up and decide, I'm going to waste my raise. Your spending just quietly expands to match your income. A nicer apartment, better food, more subscriptions, more convenience, and suddenly you're making more money but somehow still feel like you have nothing left. That's why automation matters. You remove the decision before your brain gets involved. The money moves automatically before you have the chance to mentally spend it. And that's the part people often miss about building wealth. It doesn't always look impressive. A lot of financially secure people aren't constantly making dramatic money decisions. Their systems make the boring decisions for them. Money comes in, savings moves out, then they live on what's left. That's the old money part nobody really talks about. Not pretending to be rich, not buying expensive things to look successful, just making sure your money has somewhere to go before your lifestyle can absorb it. Here's what that can look like. Set up an automatic transfer of $150 from every paycheck into a high-yield savings account or another savings goal. If you're paid twice a month, that's $300 a month. Over a year, $3,600. And you didn't have to wake up every payday and ask yourself whether you felt like saving. That's important because motivation is unreliable. Some months you'll be focused, other months you'll have a stressful week, see something you want, and suddenly saving feels like something you'll start next month. Automation doesn't care. The transfer happens anyway. So habit number two is this. The second your paycheck arrives, move money before your lifestyle gets a chance to claim it. even if you start smaller, $25, $50, $100. The number matters less than building the system. Because once your spending adjusts to the money that's actually available, saving stops feeling like something you're constantly sacrificing for. It just becomes part of how your money moves. And that brings us to habit number 3, because this one is probably the least exciting of all three. Nobody will notice you're doing it. Nobody's going to compliment you for it, but it's the habit that can stop the other two from quietly creeping right back into your life. Habit number 3, the nobody sees it audit. This takes less than 5 minutes a week. Once a week, audit the money you're spending on things nobody would even know you stopped buying. Start with 2 subscriptions. Then look at 3 lunches or meals you could easily pack instead. That's it. Because some of the most expensive spending habits aren't the ones that feel expensive, they're the ones that become completely invisible. The subscription you forgot was still charging. The delivery fee you barely noticed. The lunch you buy because you're tired and didn't plan ahead. None of those purchases feels like a major financial decision, but that's exactly why they survive. I once kept a $19 a month app for 11 months because I kept telling myself, I'll use it. I didn't. That was $209 spent on absolutely nothing. And the crazy part is, if someone asked me whether I'd willingly hand over $209 for an app I never used, obviously the answer would be no. But broken into $19 monthly payments? My brain barely noticed it. That's the same trick your spending uses everywhere else. Small enough to ignore, repeated often enough to matter. And that's where habit number 3 becomes different from the first two. Habit number 1 stops you before a new purchase enters your life. Habit number 2 moves your money before lifestyle creep can absorb it. But habit number 3 looks backward. It finds the money that's already leaking, the money you've normalized, the charges you've stopped questioning. And that's the weird thing about invisible spending. A Gucci wallet gets attention, a new car gets attention. Nobody notices the subscription you canceled, nobody notices the lunch you packed, nobody notices the old wallet you're still using. But those are often the decisions quietly creating the gap between what you earn and what you actually keep. That's stealth wealth, not pretending you're broke, not depriving yourself, just understanding that some of the best financial decisions give you absolutely no social reward. Your brain likes visible purchases because they create an immediate payoff. You get to wear it, show it, use it, feel like you upgraded. Saving money doesn't give you that same dopamine hit. Nobody congratulates you for canceling a subscription. Nobody sees you pack lunch on Tuesday. Nobody knows that you decided to keep using something that still works instead of replacing it. So your brain naturally treats those choices as less exciting, which is exactly why they work. You're removing spending that exists mostly because of convenience, habit, or the tiny emotional reward of buying something, and you're replacing it with something much less exciting, but much more valuable, money that stays yours. So here's the 5-minute audit. Pick 2 subscriptions and ask yourself one question. Would I sign up for this again today? If the answer is no, cancel it. Then pick 3 meals that week you normally buy and pack something instead. Not forever, not every meal, just 3. 2 subscriptions costing $28 a month combined. That's $336 a year. Saving around $35 a week by packing 3 lunches, that's another $1,820 a year. Together, that's $2,156 back in your pocket. And nobody has to know. That's the point. This is also what keeps habit number 1 and habit number 2 from bouncing back. Because you can wait 24 hours before buying something. You can automatically save part of your paycheck. But if dozens of small purchases are quietly running in the background, you'll still wonder where your money went. The nobody sees it audit forces you to look, not at the big, obvious purchases, at the boring ones, the forgotten ones, the ones your brain stopped registering as spending. And when you combine that with the 24-hour rule and paying yourself first, you've built a system that attacks all 3 leaks. The purchase you were about to make, the extra money your lifestyle was about to absorb, and the invisible spending you stopped noticing. That's $2,400 plus back without earning more. Which one leaks you the most right now? Number 1, rebuys. Number 2, lifestyle creep. Or number 3, invisible spending. Comment number 1, number 2, or number 3, and I'll reply with the 60-second version you can start with. And next, the psychology behind your wallet.